Alright, so I got my vise on the table now. Now, the important thing that I had to figure out is which way my propellers are going to go, and I come up with clockwise. Okay, so that's the direction that it's going to be. So my twist, I actually have to take my measurement the way it's going to go. I have to set my angle here at 65 degrees off of the 90, if that makes any sense. So in order to be precise, I guess that would go down there. Right on that corner. Trying to be as close as possible. Alright, so that's set at 65 degrees, so when I have my metal bar in here heated up and I go to twist, the twist should match this angle when I get it at 25 degrees. So, a little breezy out. Hopefully this the torch will work out for me. And well, like all good things, you never know until you try. So let's get this in here, and I'm going to put this right on my mark. So a little update. I made one of the biggest goofs when filming something. I had the camera looking somewhere totally different than where I was actually working on the vise. So I've got all the bends made on the propeller spine. I'm going to call it a spine because I'm actually going to put the metal plate on it. So as you can see, I've got all the bends in it. It actually kind of looks like a little propeller, or as my father says, it looks like a lawnmower blade. Well, yeah, I'd hate to cut the grass with the lawnmower blade only 9 inches long. But basically, what I did was I put the steel bar in the vise. I heated it up with brazing fuel. It's not acetylene, but I don't have acetylene, and I knew if I tried to make the twists or bend the metal, I had a good chance of ripping it, so any amount of heat would have assisted in that. So that's basically what I did, was I just set it in my vise straight up, heated it up, and then I took a monkey wrench or plumber's wrench, whatever you want to call it, pipe wrench, and basically put it close to my marks and then twist it. And with that, I did get some footage that you've probably saw where I was using my my angle finder. These are the greatest rigs ever. So basically I just set it on the vise because the vise is going to be square and the steel bar is going to be perpendicular to the side of the vise. So I just put it in the side of the vise, and it's like, yep, alright, perfect, that twist is exactly where I want it. And I just did that to both blades. Now there's a couple spots that are a little high from the bending, but I'm going to take a grinder and smooth those out, just so that when I cut the actual blades and lay it on the propeller spine, then it'll just make it a smoother contact throughout. So let's move along and cut out the blades. Okay, so here's the steel plate we're going to use for the blades, and this is the cutout. I cut out the picture, and then I laid it on the propeller spine, and just kind of looked at it and said, okay, yeah, that's a pretty good fit, and that's basically what it's going to look like on the back side. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to lay this down, and once I cut it out on the paper and was happy with the size, then I just used a piece of cereal box, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, good stuff. So I'm just going to try and just line this up here as so I can optimize. I guess it's not going to really make much of a difference how much I leave out. Just going to make sure that I've got an edge. And just going to take a trusty marker and just trace it out. Just like that. Now I wonder how I can place this one. So I don't want to have too much leftover scrap. I want to use as much of the metal as I can, just in case I make a boo-boo, so that I still have some plate left. Not too shabby. Now I just have to do this 2 more times and then we'll come back and we'll cut it out. Alright, and that's all 4 of them. Now to cool this off and get out the bench grinder and clean them up. Alright, so here we go. We're going to smooth off these edges, because they're quite rough. I just have to touch this up with a file just to get the really fine burrs off, and there we go. I have a propeller blade. Let's see how it looks on this. Yeah. Actually looks not bad. I just have to put 1 twist in it up here. I probably didn't explain it in the other videos, but this is a 25-degree twist, and then as it comes up to the final inch, I have it coming back out to 10 degrees, just like the Minn Kota propellers. Now my measurements may not be exact to the Minn Kota propeller, but it's close enough. It'll duplicate it. I don't think a couple of degrees are really going to make that much of a difference. If I was way out in how many degrees, like 20 or 30 degrees, well, certainly that would make a huge difference. But for the matter of a couple of degrees or even 5 degrees, I don't think it makes a big difference. So now I'm just going to clean up the other 4, and we'll be ready to move on to the next. Alright, so I got these all cleaned up. I've marked it. as being front, and then on the back this will be towards the bottom. This is where I want the spline to go. So the spline would go like this, and then these two little marks here is where I'll hold it here so I can see it better in the camera. It's basically how I want it to go. Now this is where the bend or the twist comes back 10 degrees, so I've got these marked this way. And I just got the little arrow to remind me that this is the end that has to bend backwards. So I've already got one in the vise. Let's heat it up and see how this twist goes. See if I can get it right. If not, then I'll just have to straighten out the ends. This is a pretty wide piece of metal, so I'm thinking that I'm not going to be able to do this twist. But see what happens. Alright, bend test number 2. Alright, there's 10 degrees. Now let's see if that matches up better than the last time. And like I said, if not, where this is so wide, I'll just straighten out the ends and make her flat. And hope that it works that way. Alright, which side to switch? There we go. That's actually pretty darn good. Not so shabby. I just have to smoothen it out a little bit, and then of course when it gets welded on it'll fit much better, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I had to do it 4 more times. Hopefully this is going to be bright enough. What I'm using for the sprockets is basically the sprockets off of a single gear bicycle, like a children's bicycle. Now if you've ever had one of these apart, this is actually kind of neat. This shaft in here actually comes off the sprocket. And what this is threaded. And there's actually brake pads that sit on here. And when you turn your pedals backwards, it actually pushes the brake pads up onto the shaft, which stops you. Now, I'm trying to watch this. There's a little snap ring in here. Maybe I can get this punch here. There's a little snap ring right here. Okay, and basically it just snaps out, and I'm going to show you how to do this. I actually took all these apart, and then I thought, you know what, I should show this on the video, how to take these apart. And just going to move the camera, and we'll do that. Alright, so there's a little split here. This is where my split is in the snap ring, so I'm just going to slide this in here. You could use a screwdriver or a little punch, you know, whichever's easiest. Just bring it up. Of course, now it doesn't want to come out for me. There it goes. Alright, so we got that started out. I'll just open up the vise and we'll just give her a twist around. And then you can just take the screwdriver and just work it all the way around the edge. It's not real sturdy or not real strong. The big thing is just, there it goes, you heard it ping. The big thing is, you know, just putting it in something solid, and then this piece just comes out. Gone. Now the idea, this is a fairly big hole, so I'm going to take a 3/8 inch, well, I'm going to take a washer, put it in the inside like this, and then my friend's going to weld around it. And then if I find one of my bicycle shafts, alright, here we go, bottom bracket shaft, that'll just slide in there perfect, just like that. But just for added stability on the shaft, I'm going to have 3/4 inch tubing. It's cut at 1 inch length, and have that welded down on the center of that, so that when this goes in through, I haven't cleaned out the little pieces of metal that's jammed in there yet. There. So the idea will be something like this. So the washer will be welded to the sprocket, and then the 3/4 inch tubing is going to be welded to the washer, and then I'm just going to drill a hole through here and put in a cotter pin, so that when this turns, it actually has something that's going to hold it into place. But a worst case scenario, if it catches something, the cotter pin will probably let go so that I don't break everything. And it's going to be a similar setup on the other end for the propeller spline. I'll just put this down, and on the other end will be the propeller spline, and again it's going to be same idea. I'm going to put the steel tube down. There'll be a cotter pin on this side, so that if I have to change the propeller or, you know, whatever, and then this, I have to re-drill out these holes a little bit, but you get the idea. The propeller spline, okay, will be welded to the steel tube like so, and then I'll just use the same nut on the end of this, like so. That way it'll hold it on, and then I'll have a cotter pin through here as well, and basically that's what it's going to look like. And I get these blades, you know, welded on. What I'm actually going to do, just to make it easier for my friend to weld, is I do have the lines marked on the back. Hopefully this is coming out in the camera because I really can't see. But I do have the lines marked. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put some pop rivets in here. Probably 2 pop rivets to hold it exactly where I want it. And then all he's got to do when he goes to weld is just weld all the way around. So the only thing I have left to do is to actually make my bends on the end of end up here, and everything will be ready for welding. So this pretty much concludes the mechanical part for the propeller. So I'm really stoked. Once I get all these parts back, I'm going to be laughing, mock it all up in the boat, make sure all my holes are final, set everything up, and then I can go on and fiberglass the inside of the boat. So stay tuned for the next video, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.